To run after something or someone is called. Nice selection. Chase is the correct and valid answer. Robinson lived the life of a slave for dash. Perfect. 2 years is the correct choice. The best word to describe the earthquake is sharp thinking. Helpful is the right choice. Which part of the plot is the most intense? Good thinking. Climax is the right answer. Move away from the land, recede. Right choice. Ebbed is the best answer. Which of the following words is not a noun? You chose national, and it is correct. What did Robinson Crusoe found on the ship? Well picked. All of these is the correct answer. Express strong disagreement or disapproval. On track. Expostulated is the correct answer. The quality or condition of being stubborn. You got it? Your choice, obstinacy, is right. Robinson saw his father on Yarmouth Beach. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. What did Robinson Crusoe become in Brazil? Valid point. A farmer is true. What takes Friday one of the dead pirates? Right again. The jacket is a valid answer. The gun made a loud dash when it was shot. Strong choice. Crack is the right answer. What did Robinson Crusoe call to his cave? Exactly. Castle makes sense and it is right choice. What did Robinson Crusoe decide to become? You're right. A sailor is the correct answer. A squirrel jumped on the dash where I sat. Excellent. Bench is a brilliant choice. He can read well, dash, he can't write well. Nicely done, but is a solid answer. What did he see on the beach in Chapter 5? Clear logic. Your choice, canoes and natives, is sound and 100% true. Robinson believed that the island was dash. Smart pick. Inhabited is the correct choice. The pirate captain kept Crusoe as his dash. Good job. Your answer, slave, works well here. What genre does Robinson Crusoe belong to? Great job. Adventure fiction is the accurate answer. Where did Robinson Crusoe go after Brazil? Correct. Africa is the right answer. Robinson Crusoe used to call his cave dash. Well reasoned. A castle is the correct choice. The most fatal day in Robinson's life was great thinking. In September 1651 is the right choice. Dash had also been discovered by Robinson. Well done. Bags of gold is the right choice. The first thing that Robinson sees is our excellent choice. Dark storm clouds is the right answer. Where did Robinson Crusoe see a footprint? Smart move. On a sand is an accurate answer. Why did Robinson decided to be landowner? Nice work. You chose the money and it is correct. What did his father wanted him to become? Bravo. Lawyer is the answer. Friday the cannibal was used to have dash. Solid response. Human flesh is a valid choice.
What did Rossi buy with the captain's money?
Exactly. Some land makes sense and it is right choice. How many years did Crusoe live in Brazil? Great thinking. 4 years is the right choice.
In the island, he built a house in a dash.
Sharp thinking. Cave is the right choice. Where did Crusoe first return to England? Nice selection. Brazil is the correct and valid answer. Continue the sentence. On the island dash? Correct response. He built a tent is the most accurate answer. What starts on Friday, one of the pirates? Excellent choice. An arrow is the right answer. Who was telling the story? On track. Robinson is the correct answer. What did Robinson discover on the island? Great job. Goats is the accurate answer. What startling discovery did Crusoe find? Smart pick. His footprint is the correct choice. How long does Robinson return to England? You got it. Your choice after 35 years is right. Materials that Robinson got from the wreck. Solid response. All the previous options is a valid choice. To live safely on the island Crusoe dash. Bravo! Built a fort is the answer. How old was when he decided to navigate? Excellent. 18 a young man is a brilliant choice. Method of calculation a ship's direction. You're right. Navigation is the correct answer. What type of novel is Robinson Crusoe? Well reasoned. Adventure is the correct choice. Robinson Crusoe was captured by pirates. Good thinking. False is the right answer. He wanted a safe place to live away from. Correct. Man-eating men is the right answer. Who were the inhabitants of that island? Nice work. You chose monkeys and it is correct. I dash when you're late, said Mother. Clear logic. Your choice worry is sound and 100% true. Dash was the god that Friday worshipped. Valid point. Benamuckee is true. Alexander Selkirk's story inspired Defoe. Right again. True is a valid answer. Who is the main character in this story? Nicely done. Robinson Crusoe is a solid answer. What does it mean in Catalan? Footprints? Perfect. Trace is the correct choice. Cause to become smaller or less intense. Well picked. Abated is the correct answer. What connectors were not used the text? Good job. Your answer, once upon a time, works well here. The snow covered the ground like a dash. Well done. Blanket is the right choice. How many pirates arrived on the island? Right choice. Sen is the best answer. What is one of the themes of the novel? Strong choice. Survival is the right answer. Robinson's ambition was to be a sailor. Smart move. True is an accurate answer. What was Robinson Crusoe worried about? You chose mysterious footprints, and it is correct. What did you do in Crusoe's civil life? Exactly. Commerce makes sense and it is right choice.
Go fishing was a perfect opportunity too.
Bravo. Escape is the answer. Robinson Crusoe. I sail on the ship of. You chose of his partner's father. And it is correct. He said one thing, but he dash another. Perfect. Meant is the correct choice. What was the name of Robinson's mother? Solid response. Mary is a valid choice. How long did Robinson stayed in Brazil? Excellent choice. 4 years is the right answer. 20 and 10 people were in the bus. Valid point. 30 is true. Command order someone to do something. Nice work. You chose Bade and it is correct. Who mentions unclean rat in the movie? Well done. The pirate is the right choice. What does Robinson hunt on his island? Nice selection. Goats is the correct and valid answer. Where does Robinson go when he wrecks? Well picked. Africa is the correct answer.
Robinson's father wanted him to study.
Smart move. Laws is an accurate answer. The men who go to sea have dasher lives. Well reasoned. Dangerous is the correct choice. When did Daniel Defoe write his novel? Great thinking. In the 18th century is the right choice. Robinson Crusoe was first published in...
Good job. Your answer 1719 works well here.
What does it mean, tie up, in Catalan? You got it. Your choice hitch is right. There were cats in the movie and book. On track. False is the correct answer. Word meaning. Being followed by someone. Great job. Chased is the accurate answer. I hope our school dash wins the prize. Good thinking. Team is the right answer. What was the name of Friday's father? Right choice. Fridays is the best answer. In which city was Robinson born? Right again. In York is a valid answer. Who is the poet of the poem Crying? Clear logic. Your choice, Galway Kinnell, is sound and 100% true. Without the basic necessities of life.
You're right. Destitute is the correct answer.
How did he name his companion Friday? Nicely done. Seeing calendar is a solid answer. What will see Crusoe in the distance?
Smart pick. The English is the correct choice.
African people were terrified of dash. Sharp thinking. Their guns is the right choice. What did Robinson Crusoe see one day? Excellent. Footprint is a brilliant choice. Which author wrote Robinson Crusoe? Strong choice. Daniel Defoe is the right answer. You know you can do it, so don't dash.
Correct. Worry is the right answer.
What did Robinson find on 16th June? Correct response. A large turtle is the most accurate answer. How many years Robinson stayed away? Great job. 28 years is the accurate answer.
Crusoe examined that the footprint is.
Good job. Your answer larger than his own works well here. You never really dashesh by being kind. Correct. Lowe's is the right answer. One day he saw the dash on the sand. Excellent. Footprint is a brilliant choice. Crusoe wanted to travel to find dash. Right choice. Adventure is the best answer. What did Robinson find on the beach? Perfect. Bones is the correct choice. The prisoner he saved was about dash. Great thinking. 26 years old is the right choice. Robinson Crusoe was born in Germany.
Bravo! False is the answer.
What did he use to make new jackets? Valid point. Watch coats is true. Crusoe went to sea and left his dash. Well done. Parents is the right choice. Why does Crusoe forget all promises? Smart move. For the drunkenness is an accurate answer. We may go to Shimla-Darjeeling. Nicely done. Or is a solid answer. Robinson knocks dash into the water. Good thinking. Moly is the right answer. What languages did the people speak? Exactly. Portuguese, French, and Spanish makes sense, and it is right choice. What is the main character in Roman? Well reasoned. Robinson Crusoe is the correct choice. Crusoe wanted to live a life of dash. Sharp thinking. Adventure is the right choice. Other men attend the island. They are. Clear logic. Your choice cannibali is sound and 100% true. Suri dash to Robinson and Molly dash. Smart pick. Followed Das escaped is the correct choice. Who first set his foot on the moon? Nice selection. Neil Armstrong is the correct and valid answer. A state of emptiness or destruction. Nice work. You chose desolation, and it is correct. The wild men used the island to dash. Excellent choice. Dash eat their enemies is the right answer. Robinson Crusoe was written by Dash. Solid response. Daniel Defoe is a valid choice. As the dash has opened, the play began. You chose curtain, and it is correct. The big boat was in the sun during. Strong choice. 22 or 23 years is the right answer. We made a new dash in our workshop. Right again. Bench is a valid answer. Hull is large airport in Yorkshire. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Where does Crusoe serve as a slave? Well picked. North Africa is the correct answer. Robinson Crusoe called the man Dash. On track. Friday is the correct answer. Robinson remains on the island for. You got it? Your choice 28 years is right. If you go to sea, you will be Dash. You're right. Unhappy is the correct answer. What things helped Crusoe survive? Well reasoned. All of the above is the correct choice. In which century is the novel set? Strong choice.
17th is the right answer.
Where did the ship's captain head? Smart move. Brazil is an accurate answer.
What was the name of Mrs. Robinson?
On track. Elizabeth is the correct answer.
My group was having an art lesson.
Nicely done. Class is a solid answer. Who did Rossi explain their story to? Great thinking. A Scottish sailor is the right choice.
What did Robinson call the island?
Nice selection. Despair Island is the correct and valid answer. What does RC use to make a basket? Correct response. Tree branches is the most accurate answer. Crusoe entered inside his cave by... Well picked. A hole is the correct answer. Robinson Crusoe is the story of... You chose a plantation owner, and it is correct. It took 42 days to get to Brazil. Excellent choice. False is the right answer. Robinson was chased by a monster. Great job. False is the accurate answer. What does the word soaked mean? You're right. Completely wet is the correct answer. Which new companion did he found? Good job. Your answer, parrot, works well here. Sometimes we eat dash for dinner. Nice work. You chose meat and it is correct. Daniel Defoe's real name was Dash. Smart pick. Daniel Defoe is the correct choice. Robinson was born in the city of... Right choice. York is the best answer. What does parrot mean in Catalan? Exactly. Cry makes sense and it is right choice. Robinson gave Friday dash to eat. Bravo. Bread, water, and raisins is the answer. The Spanish ship had dash people. Valid point. Did people is true. He and his dog made a good team. Good thinking. Keeping birds away is the right answer. Robinson feels dash living alone. You got it? Your choice sad is right. Crusoe made plates and cups from... Right again. Wood and coconut shells is a valid answer. For dash years, he lived in fear. Perfect. 2 is the correct choice. The men on the big ship are dash. Clear logic. Your choice English seaman is sound and 100% true. Friday's people worshipped a dash. Correct. Benamucky is the right answer. What were the name of the boys? Well done. Fritz, Jack, Ernest, Francis is the right choice. Robinson named the native Dash. Excellent. Friday is a brilliant choice. Robinson Crusoe is shipwrecked. Sharp thinking. On a desert island is the right choice. Where does Crusoe first settle? Solid response. Brazil is a valid choice. In Brazil, Crusoe became a dash. Excellent choice. Farmer is the right answer. When did Defoe write the novel? Well reasoned. 1719 is the correct choice. What happened to Crusoe's ship? Smart pick. It hit a sandbar is the correct choice. Robinson Crusoe lived in a dash. You got it. Your choice cave is right. How many men died in the storm? On track, 3 is the correct answer. Where did Robinson family live? Well picked. Switzerland is the correct answer. Who is the author of this book? Solid response. Daniel Defoe is a valid choice. What special thing did he make? Smart move. Calendar is an accurate answer. Crusoe earned a lot of money in. Valid point. Brazil is true. Robinson was on the island dash. Nicely done. 15 years is a solid answer. Where was Robinson Crusoe born? Bravo! England is the answer. Who is thrown out of the cliff? You're right. Friday is the correct answer. Was it a Robinson's footprint? Great thinking. No is the right choice. Is this a picture of a voyage? Correct. Yes is the right answer. A boy is a dash to his father. Right again. Son is a valid answer. After 8 days of the storm. Good thinking. They left the ship is the right answer. A soft cover to keep you warm. Good job. Your answer blanket works well here. At what time did it grow dark? Strong choice. 7 o'clock is the right answer. I was very tired dash confused. Excellent, and is a brilliant choice. Place to walk beside a street. Clear logic. Your choice sidewalk is sound and 100% true. Water will dash in low places. Correct response. Gather is the most accurate answer. 3 tens is the same as dash. Nice work. You chose 30 and it is correct. Crusoe was born in the town of. Right choice. York is the best answer. The other white man was a dash. Nice selection. Spaniard is the correct and valid answer. Why does Friday dance in air? You chose meets father. And it is correct. What did Crusoe teach Friday? Sharp thinking. To eat normal food is the right choice. Crusoe counted days on a dash. Perfect. Wooden cross is the correct choice. Meaning of savages is dash. Well done. Wild people is the right choice. Who did Robinson escape with? Exactly. With Zuri makes sense and it is right choice. How did he make the umbrella? Great job. Animal skin is the accurate answer. What time is the story tells? Perfect. Past is the correct choice. How did he kill wild animals? You chose with a gun, and it is correct. Opposite of wander is dash. Strong choice. Settle is the right answer. Robinson Crusoe was born in. Great thinking. York is the right choice. His parents wanted him to be. Solid response. Lawyer apprentice is a valid choice. What was Defoe's first novel? Right choice. Robinson Crusoe is the best answer. Robinson Crusoe was from Dash. You're right. England is the correct answer. Crusoe was interested in Dash. Well done. Sailing is the right choice. I was frightened dash curious. Clear logic, your choice, but is sound and 100% true. Who became a friend of Fritz? Correct response. A monkey is the most accurate answer. Which pirates board the ship? Excellent. Turkish is a brilliant choice. What was Crusoe's dog called? Smart pick. Chick is the correct choice. The Friday character was one. Bravo, wild is the answer. Robinson Crusoe had a spirit. Great job. Adventurous is the accurate answer. Robinson's friend's name is. Good thinking. Friday is the right answer. A literary species and genre. You got it. Your choice epica, adventure novel, is right. What is the meaning of tame? Well picked. Not dangerous is the correct answer. Tick the correct spelt word. Well reasoned. Investigate is the correct choice. How many savages were there? Nicely done. 20 is a solid answer. What was Robinson examining? Good job. Your answer footprint works well here. What nationality was Crusoe? Exactly. English makes sense and it is right choice. Robinson's master liked Dash. Valid point. Fishing is true. What saw Crusoe in the cave? On track? A few eyes is the correct answer. We eat dash food when we eat it. Excellent choice. Chew is the right answer. What year Robinson was born? Smart move. 1632 is an accurate answer. What was Crusoe's only hope? Nice work. You chose be rescued, and it is correct. To whom the name Paul refers? Correct. To a parrot is the right answer. Robinson's desire was to do. Right again. Sailor is a valid answer. What contained the barrels? Sharp thinking. Gunpowder is the right choice. To be happy with something. Nice selection. Enjoy is the correct and valid answer. Daniel Defoe was not a dash. Well reasoned. Doctor is the correct choice. A cloth cover for a window. Nice selection. Curtain is the correct and valid answer. Meaning of boulder is dash. Smart pick. Confident is the correct choice. Meaning of confused is dash. Strong choice. Perplexed is the right answer. Who was the third prisoner? Good job. Your answer Friday's father works well here. What is R.C.'s parrot's name? On track. Pole is the correct answer. He finds a job for Robinson. Right choice. His friend, James, is the best answer. It is based on a true story. Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true. In Brazil, he worked in dash. Smart move. A sugar farm is an accurate answer.
Earnest or humble requests. You chose entreaties, and it is correct.
Robinson Crusoe had a dash. Right again. Boat is a valid answer. At last the rain stopped.
Exactly. Finally makes sense, and it is right choice.
Tick the correct spelling. Nicely done. Comforted is a solid answer. Robinson calls his shelter. Perfect. My castle is the correct choice. Where was Man Friday from? Valid point. Trinidad is true. Who made Robinson a slave? You're right. The Turks is the correct answer. Who wrote Robinson Crusoe? Bravo. Daniel Defoe is the answer. What is meaning of voyage? Excellent choice. Journey is the right answer. Crusoe was dash years old. Great thinking. 18 is the right choice. How is the story narrated? Good thinking. In the first person is the right answer. Where was the pirate from? Solid response. Turkey is a valid choice. Tick the correct sentence. You got it. Your choice. The island was inhabited is right. What origin was Robinson? Great job. Scotsman is the accurate answer. Who is an English writer? Well done. Daniel Defoe is the right choice. Robinson Crusoe he was in. Nice work. You chose uninhabited island, and it is correct. What is meaning of wreck? Well picked. Damage is the correct answer. Crusoe should have become. Excellent. A lawyer is a brilliant choice. Friday's people were dash. Correct. Caribs is the right answer. Robinson became rich dash. Correct response. Planting cotton is the most accurate answer. Friday is the symbol of sharp thinking. Colonialism is the right choice. What kind of text is it?
You got it. Your choice, a novel, is right.
Opposite of inhabited is sharp thinking. Deserted is the right choice. His father wanted him to. You chose stay at home, and it is correct. What was Friday's virtue? Good job. Your answer fidelity works well here. Things to do and not do. Perfect. Rule is the correct choice. Robinson Crusoe met dash. Great job. Friday is the accurate answer. Paul's favorite food is good thinking. Fruit and milk is the right answer. Smithereens means dash. On track. Fragments or small bits is the correct answer. The text narrates facts. Nicely done. Real is a solid answer. Give me a dash to talk. Right again. Chance is a valid answer. Opposite of inside is smart move. Outside is an accurate answer. Crusoe was born in dash.
Nice work. You chose England and it is correct.
He always thought about?
Exactly. Traveling the world makes sense and it is right choice.
Opposite of discover is. Valid point. Conceal is true. What virtue had Friday? Well picked. Fidelity is the correct answer. Alexander Selkirk was a.
Smart pick. Sailor is the correct choice.
He had been alone dash. Nice selection. On the beach is the correct and valid answer.
Robinson Crusoe genre.
Right choice. Novel is the best answer. What is left of a ship? Excellent choice. Wreck is the right answer.
Past tense of break.
Correct. Broke is the right answer. All plants have these.
Correct response. Roots is the most accurate answer.
How was the big boat? Well done. Useless is the right choice. Robinson saves Friday. You're right. From a human sacrifice is the correct answer. Robinson's family was. Solid response. Accommodated is a valid choice. Beef and pork we eat.
Strong choice. Meat is the right answer.
Who tells the story?
Clear logic. Your choice. The character is sound and 100% true.
To have had in mind. Great thinking. Meant is the right choice. Robinson lived in a. Excellent. Cave is a brilliant choice. Opposite of hide. Bravo. Exposed is the answer. His father was dash. Well reasoned. German is the correct choice. A dasher hat is warm. You're right. Fur is the correct answer. What was the first?
Solid response. Hold animals is a valid choice.
Where was he born? Well picked. York is the correct answer. The governor was. Good thinking. Robinson Crusoe is the right answer. Food or provisions? Strong choice. Victuals is the right answer. A very short time. Right again. Moment is a valid answer. Reverie means dash. Correct. Lively and noisy festivities is the right answer. What did he build? Well done. Boat is the right choice. Where did he live? Smart pick. Brazil is the correct choice. It is a true story. Excellent. False is a brilliant choice. Name of the author. Valid point. Daniel Defoe is true. To sneak quietly.
Nice selection. Crept is the correct and valid answer.
Subdue means dash. Sharp thinking. Bring under control is the right choice. Crusoe lived in a. Bravo. Cave is the answer. Meaning of boulder. Well reasoned. More confident is the correct choice. What did he grow? Correct response. Corn is the most accurate answer. Cove means dash. Nice work.
You chose a small sheltered bay, and it is correct.
What gets sick?
You got it. Your choice of fever and headache is right.
To turn to ice.
Nicely done. Freeze is a solid answer.
Robinson saw.
Great thinking. Human footprint is the right choice.
The island was.
Perfect. Inhabited is the correct choice.
Apart, divided.
On track, as is the correct answer.
To throw away.
Excellent choice. Rid is the right answer.
Who was took?
Smart move. A dog is an accurate answer.
Animal skins.
Great job. Fur is the accurate answer.
Lubber means.
You chose clumsy person, and it is correct. To run fast.
Right choice. Dash is the best answer. Robinson had.
Clear logic. Your choice of boat is sound and 100% true.
To go bad.
Good job. Your answer spoil works well here.
Fridays?
Exactly. A native makes sense and it is right choice.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
Well picked. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is the correct answer.